my bitrate is crashing. That the endpoint cannot be accessed. Check that endpoint cannot be accessed without token. All right. And then this one here is with cannot check that endpoint cannot be accessed with wrong token. Check that without token. And this one is get check JSON type, and this is to get a course that doesn't exist. Not sure why the net keeps dropping. I'm on the net on my phone. Seems fine. Okay, so after that, what else do we do? We can move down to enrollment. Again, I need to mark these as secure. Let me refresh that for a second. Good. Okay, so the enrollment side of things, this is done with the user's bearer token. So we know which user has enrolled. So it can't, yeah. So it has to be done on behalf of a user. So this is kind of like impersonation in the sense of, to make this call, I need to get a token from a user and then run this. This is the enrollment thing here. Once we get this done, the enrollments, I think this enroll thing here, we're going to run all the tests and just make sure that I haven't broken anything. Hang on a minute, bear with me. Fair enough. Okay. Yeah, so okay. Course enroll. Is it enroll or enrollment? They're different. Enroll. Okay, course enroll. So there's one test here for to enroll a user, free user, into Docker machine the course, and then there's another test here to try and do it again, and we should get an error. Oh, there's another test here, trying to enroll into a wrong package. That's interesting. And then this is actually being very well tested, actually. Enroll into a wrong package, that's cool. Enroll into a monthly package. So as a monthly user, I want to enroll in a course with a monthly package. That should be fine. And then this is getting my enrollments. So that needs to be put into a separate class, I believe. Let's change this to be enrollments. And let's just change that to be enrollments and remove all of this apart from the last one. Okay, right. And let's get back to the enroll test here so we can remove that. Okay, so let's go through this. The first test here is to actually make the enroll. So as a free user, I want to enroll on a course that is free. Okay, that is correct. That should come back and say that it's succeeded. It's done. Good. And then the next test here is to enroll in a course again, and you get an error. So you're enrolling and then you're trying to do it again, and now you're getting 400 error. with this, you have already enrolled in this course. Okay, that's good. And then after this, we're enrolling into a wrong package. As a free user, I want to enroll in a course with a monthly package. Aha, I understand. Gotcha. And then we get a 400 back, so you do not have the correct subscription plan. Good, good, good. Okay, now this one here is to enroll into a monthly package. So as a monthly user, I want to enroll in a course with a monthly package. Yeah, that makes sense. So monthly user. What happens if I try and do this as a system? Yeah, interesting. What happens if I try and do this with a system? The system doesn't have any packages associated to it. So this technically, this should fail, right? So let's try that. Let's grab that. Enroll into a monthly package with a system token. So it doesn't really matter what this is, right? So as a system, so with it, I want to, with a system token, attempt to enroll into a course with a system token. So this should, I think, should just fail miserably, right? Because the system isn't a user in the eyes of the back end. So this shouldn't return anything. It should just go. It should fall flat on its face. Let's get the. Being lazy now, let's just copy that. So this is enroll cest at the bottom. Okay, so in this case, it should be unauthorized. Yeah. Okay, so let's see here. Enroll on a monthly course as a with a system token. There we go. Now the interesting thing with this is, as I'm reading the code, I'm thinking about, you know, the walkthrough here, the user journey. So a user can join, and as they join, they choose the course that they want to enroll into, or they can join without enrolling in a course, which means that they are actually. Can a user join without a package? Is that possible? No, I don't think it is. Okay, let me just see what's going on here. 401 was expected, but 404 is not found. Is that right, though? User not found. Yes, no, that is correct. That actually is correct. So it is not found. That is a good thing. Because the system user... The system token isn't associated to any particular user, so that actually is a valid response. Yeah. So I can see issues when a user hasn't got a package. However, I can't think off the top of my head how a user could be logged in without a package, because they're either going to be a free user or they're going to be a free user, or they're going to be a paid user, a monthly or a yearly subscriber. and they choose that when they register. You can't register unless you've got a package. So let me just check that on register. Can I register? Yeah, selected package. Okay, there's obviously we need to do a little bit more work here, but yeah, I might have to look into that. Let's just see where we're at with this. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a cup of tea and I'm going to run all the tests. I think I'm going to run all the tests, grab a cup of tea, and then come back. And I think I'm going to work on the register stuff, because this has thrown up an interesting question. Is this required? If it's not required, then potentially the system could have users in with no selected packages, which would cause havoc. Let's run all the tests, and then let's get back to let's get some. I need a cup of tea. That's what I need. So let's come out of this and then I'll come right out of the container. Let's just make tests from the start. It might complain, PHP stan might moan. We'll wait until we actually get to the testing point. This, by the way, is also doing some paranoia testing. I mean, not paranoia testing. This is doing some security testing as well. So I created a security rule set. Paranoia testing. What am I talking about? Yeah. It's only because I saw that paranoia mode. Some security testing as well, which I added the other day. So we'll wait for this to go through the motions and get to the point where it's actually testing, running the API tests and the integration tests and so forth. And I'll go downstairs and make a tea. Okay. Yeah, that's good. 53 now. That's good. All right, I'm going to grab a cup of tea and I'll see you back shortly in a few minutes. have my cup of tea. And I see it still going through the tests. Wow. This is the thing. The more tests you add, the longer it's going to take to run through it, especially these tests, because we're having to rebuild the database for each one. So that's why it's taking tens of seconds per test, which is a shame, but that's just the way we're going to have to deal with it, unfortunately. Yeah, so we'll wait for these to roll through. But I'm a bit concerned with this stuff here. This is the register. This is the API for the registration. The concern is that I can't remember whether there's a check on the selected package or not. And if there isn't, I'm not going to go into the code to check. You know, there's a temptation to just go into the code and check and go, oh yeah, there is a check, done. I want to test to... Sorry, my phone has just fallen off of my desk. Just grab that. Ugh. It was tethered by the cable, so I just pulled it up. So yeah, there's a temptation of just going into the code and going, oh yes, there is a check on selected package. But I want to test to verify that. So we're going to try and register without this. And also I want to make sure as well that the emails are correct and the passwords are, you know, a decent strength and the usernames are okay. There's only one test here to actually do one single registration, which is a bit poor. Yeah, and then if we've just done that one, which I must mark as secure too. Let's do that now. So in course, enroll. Excuse me. Yeah, that needs to have the security of bearer on that one. Okay. So the critical errors in here are valid, you know, saying plan not found, that kind of stuff, and I'm checking for that. That's the whole point of these. So they're kind of testing for failure cases. So we'll just have to wait until these go through, I think. I can't really touch the code too much, apart from maybe update the documentation a wee bit. Whilst this goes through, I just want to swat up a bit on Swagger. On the on this stuff. Nelmio API bundle. This is what we're using. So it's already been configured and set up, but this is an example. So we got the Swagger response, so we got the response code, the description, and then here is a schema and a parameter. And I can use models if I want to. That's pretty ace. Symfony form types. PHP objects, that's pretty cool, and I can actually do this in the model as well, that's good. Okay. Areas is something that I was playing with yesterday. This is like creating... Oh, not areas, sorry, groups. Okay. Alternative names. Automatically generates the model names, but allows you to customize the names for some models. Okay. Oh yeah, main user light. Groups of light. Okay, I'm not sure I need that. Configuration. Oh yeah, that's just let's go back another one. Customization. Okay, so I could customize the twig I'm not really bothered by that, to be honest. This output here is fine. Although every time I look at this logo, the logo of Nelmio, I feel very hungry, because this reminds me, for some reason, of either a burger or a dippy egg. You know, egg with shoulders. Like an egg in an egg cup. Yeah, so where did I get the security stuff from? Security schemas. Security bearer. So can I supply then in here a bearer token? Is that right? Maybe. You can configure global information in the bundle configuration documentation.info section. Take a look at the specifications, formerly Swagger, so Open API. I keep calling it Swagger, but it's Open API, but whatever. I'm really not a fan of this green. As links, it's very difficult to see. If this was on if this was in dark mode, then that would be brilliant, but it's not. So I can't. So Swagger editor, I'm looking for configuration. I can't seem to find it in there. Oh, never mind. See here, we've just got security bearer, so I'm wondering if the token needs to be put in there. And this is an array, so I wonder if there's more than one that I could put. So I might be able to do like user token and then like system token potentially. Twitch is down, or at least my stream is down apparently, which is annoying. Or at least it was when I can see it. I can't really see that it just says stream is unavailable. So I don't know if this is going out live. I have no idea. What I'm going to do is just continue through though. Okay, so this is all done, and we have some errors. Again, with the URL image, why is this an issue? Environment variable not found. Okay. I think if I was to come... Oh, Mr. DB saying the stream seems to work. Thank you for letting me know. I've got a feeling that I just want to double check my environment variables. I did change them yesterday. I just want to make sure that they're all clued up. Image URL is the issue that we have, and we're looking for. This is. So I've got image underscore URL, and it needs to be URL underscore image then. URL underscore image. That's annoying. That's frustrating. What tests failed when that happened? There was 14 errors. It looks like it was doing the profile, its integration. Are all of these integration tests, or are some of these API tests? Because what I can do is run all the integration tests outside of the scope of the APIs. Let me scroll to the top. Yeah, it looks like the integration test failed. If we go to the API tests, all 53 passed. Here we go. All integration tests failed. Okay, and all unit tests passed. All unit tests passed, all integration tests failed, and all API tests passed. Alright, fine. And let me just see here. 259 tests in total, 454 acceptations, and 14 errors. So we'll see if we can run the test specifically to the integration with that change. I'm probably going to have to do a Docker Compose up-d build, because I've changed the environment variables, and these need to be baked into the image. So yeah, it's going to restart these two, I hope. Done. Okay, and then that's logged out. We can make log critical on that one. Okay, so I'm going to now run Docker Compose Exe. Actually, do I have in my make file, which is if I put that back to here in my make file, there should be no, that's the Jenkins file, make file. There should be tests, and in tests there should be, let's go to that one, run. Here we go, test integration. That's what I'm after. So we should be able to run make test integration. Okay, so we'll run through those tests first, just to make sure that they're okay. There's only the 14. They look fine. They look like they're passing fine. Yeah, done. Excellent. So I'm going to say that they're all fine, because yeah, and we'll run it again today anyway, so that's okay. Okay, so what was I doing? It was the register that I was querying, wasn't it? It was the register page. So the issue with this is, for one, we're not actually doing this as checking the system user, and two, we're not checking the selected package, whether that's required or not, and then obviously checking these. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to grab that, and we're going to put this as a test and say, first of all, why is this a test and not assessed? Oh, it is assessed. Okay, there we go. I thought it was. Registration with, or register with no package test. Okay, so we're essentially just going to do that. Okay, and we're going to see what happens, because this should throw an error, and really this should throw a 400 error. So let's just group this. Oops. So this is API register success. So that's our success case. And then this is API register with no package. And what I'm looking for here, if we go back into the API tests, and it's this one here that I'm after. It's that one there. There we go. So with no package means that that's not going to be returned, and the status code, oh, I already had that there, should be not found. Or no, it should be bad request. Bad request 400. Okay, so we're going to run that and see. So for this to happen, I'm going to have to do go in as bash, so reverse search into, come on, R. No, control. There we go, bash. And we do bin. Well, let's just press up a couple. No, I can't because it's restarted. Bin code sep run API -G, and there we go. So this should run that single test, and this should come back with a problem, with a 400. And it looks like it's worked. Do I trust it? No. Let's just do -VV just to make sure that that is coming back okay. Hey Waddle, thank you for joining me, and everybody else. Hope you're having a good day. So yeah, it did come back with a 400. Good. Good. Okay. Happy with that. So let's now try it with... Let's try and register with no username. You know what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go through each one. Username. But with a valid package. Again, that should come back with a bad request. And we're also going to do with, so this is with no username. I'm using Faker here as a way of faking email addresses and passwords and stuff. We'll do another one. So this is with no email. So we'll grab the username back. With no username. This is with no email. No email. So we'll get rid of those. And we'll also try and do this again with no password. And they should all come back with a 400 error. So we put in the email here. With no password. Okay, and I am also going to put in this as well in each of them, just so I can get an output. I'll go through each one. So this one is I want to register with correct details and a free account. Okay, next one is to register. I want to register with no package. Next one is to register with no username. Next one, I want to register with no email. Email. Okay, next one, I want to register the proper belt and braces stuff, this, with no password. I mean, obviously I know that this is going to fail because it's actually running a form, right? And this has validation, but it would make me feel 100% better that I've got a test to back this up. Okay, and then the next one is I want to register with correct details. So we'll take that. But this time, I want to do it with the wrong package. So register with wrong package. So the package here, we're going to say does not exist. Right? So this should throw me, in my opinion, a 404. Or no, a 400 still. Add request. No, a 404 maybe. Not found. Let's just try that. Anyway, I've created a lot of stuff, so let's register with wrong package. Let's just run these tests. So let's just run API register and just see what's happening. Before I get too carried away, I'm basically just trying to hammer this API endpoint and make sure that it survives. I can't believe there was only one test for this. This is kind of like the front door, right? Okay, one failure. Okay, so this is saying that I want to register. This is the package one. I register with correct. No, that's wrong, isn't it? That should be I register with correct details and a but no, I register with invalid package with wrong package. Just to say that with wrong package. Okay, so this is coming back as a 400, which is probably correct. I just want to double check the actual code behind this and see. So if we go to this API, no, it's not, it's auth controller. So here, what we're doing is we're decoding the request and we're validating. So this is going to check the validation. And then here we're saying package, if empty package, if that isn't an empty package, then it's that default to free. Okay, fine. That makes sense. Then here, so let's see what the validation is doing. The validation for that is, this is running the validator. And if we come out of this one a minute, register validator, and it's checking that the username is in. Oh yes, it is checking the package, but it's doing a callback. So let's see what that callback is. It's package check. That's email check. This is package check. So if it's not empty, we're getting the package plan. Find by internal name. Find by internal name the value. Okay. And then if the package subscription plan isn't an instance of subscription plan, we then put in invalid subscription plan. That makes sense. So this is checking if it isn't empty. What happens if it is empty though? Surely if it is empty, I mean, we need to deal with that. And then this makes me think that this code needs to be tidied up. So this needs subscription plan required. So let's tidy it up. We don't need to have an else statement here. We can do if hang on a minute, no, that doesn't make any sense. If that isn't empty. Right. Hang on, let me sort this out. If empty, value. Bear with me a minute. Someone's trying to get hold of me on my phone. 2 seconds. If empty value, then we throw an error, right? Good. So we don't need that. We don't need that because now we know that it isn't empty. So at this point here, we're saying if the subscription plan isn't an instance of subscription plan, then we build the violation. Aha. That makes sense. Okay. And the violation would return a 400. So if we go back to the test a minute, bear with me a second whilst I check that out. So this is register assessed. So we're not supplying, or we are supplying, but it doesn't exist. So what about, and so that returns a 400, which is fine, not a not found. This should be a bad request, right? Okay, that makes sense. But also, what about this? What if we pass in a selection plan, a selected package, but that is empty, like that, with empty package? That again should be, it should return a bad request. Okay, let me run those through again. Yep. Have I? No, I haven't. With empty package. Fair enough. And then I guess the next one is to try and do this with an email that is invalid. Right. So let's grab that again. So with invalid email, let's make this up. So this should be, let's just say test instead of and this will be free. So this is, everything's valid apart from the email address. So this should still say a bad request. Okay. Yep, that's good. So let's just run that one. Now I could check the actual error response for this stuff. Oh, that's gonna screw up. Let's stop that. So yeah, I could actually check the error response for these things. I'm not overly worried with that. It's more to do with the HTTP status codes. Yeah, good. Okay, that passed. Okay, so what else can we do? With the username, if we had a look at the code for registration, so we go to auth controller again, and we go to the the validator, you can see that I need to sort this out because I've now changed my IDE to PHP 7.4, and some have declared strict, but not all of them. Plus, I need to actually sort this stuff out too. Anyway, so username check, email check, and package check. These are all callbacks. Really, this needs to be in here as well. To be fair, this will check that. This will check if it isn't blank. This will sort of take care of this stuff. But it's always good to put that in, I suppose. just in case this package check is used elsewhere. Yeah, username check. Let's see what that's doing. Username check. I think from memory this is checking to see if a username exists, and if it does, it will build a violation. Say try another username. So what we're going to do, no worries, Mr. DB, take care, have a good day. Have a good day. Thank you for joining. Do appreciate it. Yeah, so I guess what we can try and do is register with an account that has already registered and see if that is possible. It shouldn't be possible, of course. So let's see if we can do that. So I want to register with, I can't spell with, can I? That's silly. A username that already exists. Now this is going to rely on the fact that I need exists. This is going to rely on the database having some data in there. Obviously it does. So we'll have to go through the fixtures and find one of those out. API register with username that already exists. That's the group. Okay, so let's take a look at the data fixtures, which are in src data fixtures. Let's have a look at the user fixture here. Let's see now. Let's register another free account. So the username, I think these fixtures are being used by the email as well. Let me just double check. Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. That's no problem. But let's see if we can use that. So if we go to here and paste this in, and let's also just put in test.net. Doesn't matter. It's that we're focusing on. As long as this is valid, it's fine. So in fact, we can just do this faker email. Come on. This, because I'm using a faker package. Okay, so this should throw a bad request as well. So we'll run that again. Now, I want to just double check the emails. So if we registered with an email address that was the same, that shouldn't happen. But I'm not sure I've got a check on that, to be fair. There's an email check, but is that just checking against emails? And we got the minimum length check there, so I'll do that too. Email check. Fine by, yes it is. Yes it is. So we need to make sure that is fine as well. That's good. Okay. Good. Okay, we're cooking. We're cooking on gas. We're hammering this API endpoint with different values. Okay, register with a email address that already exists. So this is going to be the same email. And this is going to be, we'll make up a username. So we'll do, how did I do it with the others? It was like this faker username, wasn't it? Yeah. Gotcha. Okay, so we know that email address exists, and we know that password is valid and all that stuff. So this is test register with an email that already exists. Register with a email that is already in the system. And then this is register with a username that is already in the system. Good stuff. Okay, so let's. So this is email now, and what we'll do is we'll run each one of these individually, and then I'll run all of them together. I also want to run a test where the password is less than 6 characters long. That's good. So register with invalid password, with password less than 6 chars. Register with a password that is less than 6 chars. That should throw an error. So let's say, for instance, this here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we need to change this to be on Faker, so this Faker email, and that should throw a 400 with password with register with password that only has 6 chars. Again, this should pass because we're checking the HTTP status code, which is 400. Good. Okay, I'm going to run all the tests, all the register tests again. All right, just go through them all. And then hopefully we've got a decent enough set of tests. And it makes sense that the register API endpoint is hammered more than the others. Because there's, it's a form at the end of the day. People are filling in forms. I've got to make sure that what they fill in is valid. And if it's not valid, that it returns the right stuff. Okay, so when we started this, I asked the question about the selected package, and we ran a test with no package, and we also ran a test where the package was empty, I think, if I can find it. So that doesn't exist, and then an empty package. So that kind of answers the question of that there'll never be a user that doesn't have a package associated to that user due to these tests. However, saying that, what was the stuff we were playing with? It was the enrollment, wasn't it? It was this stuff here, enrolling. So the test was, it was trying to enroll an existing user into a course, and we would change the package type by the way in which they're authenticated. So a user has a package of monthly, a monthly user has a package of monthly, a free user has a package of free, that kind of thing. So the question I posed myself was, is there ever going to be a potential possibility where a user doesn't have a package associated to them? And I came to the conclusion of no. But I still think I can manipulate because there isn't an integrity test. There isn't like an integrity check in the database to actually make sure that that is the case. Because you can, strictly speaking, you can be an admin user. The user who logs into the content management system isn't associated to any package because they are an administrator. So therefore, there is a scenario where a user is registered to the system and is not associated to a package. It's going to be a very edge case, right? But what happens? I want to know. So let me see. Like, for example, if we go to the data fixtures here, and we go to user fixture, and we take a look at the admin, for instance. This is the admin user, which is in development. It has a subscription plan of free. So it does have a subscription plan for free. That's weird. Why did I decide to do that? Is there an integrity check then? If subscription plan is an instance of subscription plan, then set subscription plan. I'm wondering. That's interesting. That's interesting. I'm going to remove that. Alright, and then I'm going to wrap this into... I'm going to wrap this subscription plan in an if statement to say if is set data subscription plan, because there isn't one on the admin user. And we'll set that to null above. Okay. So it's only going to set it if there's an instance, and we're defining it as null to begin with, and then if we've got it, we'll then get it. So first of all, I want to just drop the database and recreate it, just to make DB test rebuild, just to make sure that there isn't an integrity check there in terms of like the database schema. So it'll be at this point when we're doing the fixtures, we're pushing them up. Does this fail on the user fixtures? No, it doesn't. So there isn't an integrity check. Fine. Which means that there is a CMS user now, an admin user, that doesn't have a package selected, which makes sense because you wouldn't. However, now we have a user in the account in the system that doesn't have the selected package, and we've proven that there isn't an integrity check. And when I mean integrity check, what I mean is, if we go to the entities here, if we go to the user, we haven't got. I need to sort all this out. When we've got subscription plan, it can be null. There we go. See, so it's not required. It's not required. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a user, another one. I'm not going to play around with the admin. I'm going to just create another one that doesn't have a subscription plan, and we're going to use that to test with. So this one here, I'm going to change that to be. Well, let's put this at the bottom. Actually, put this at the bottom here, and we'll just change this one to 5.6, and we'll just call this no sub plan, or we'll do user with no subplan at testing.howtocodewell.net. That's all fine. He's not an admin, doesn't have an admin role. It is enabled. That's fine. Okay, so it doesn't have a subscription plan. It's in the system, and now we're going to try and enroll into a course with that user. And we'll see what happens. So first up, what I need to do is rebuild the database, because we need to run that fixture again just to make sure it's in there, and then I need to dump the MySQL database into an SQL file, which then is read after each test. And then what we do, so it is db make, is it rebuild? Yeah, it is. That was the command. Sorry, that was the command that I did. Yeah, so that's fine. Okay, that's fine. So there is now the dump of the SQL has been updated based on all the fixtures that we've put through. That's good. That makes sense. So now we can do a test against the enrollment, which is this one here. Bear with me just a second. I'm checking my phone just because I'm on Murphy watch, you see. Oh, that's annoying. That's just, I've got one of those, this headphones has one of these stupid little, like the old phone cords that you used to have. And now my phone charger is just caught up in that. Okay, I will need to sort that. Okay, so what I need to do then is to enroll a user which doesn't have a subscription plan. So let's try the one that worked, which is this one, and we'll bring it all the way to the bottom. And this is enroll with user that has no plan. As a I want to as a user with no plan, I want to enroll in a course. Okay, so this, I have no idea what will come back from this. So I need to change that. Now if I open that up, this is, so these are hard-coded usernames and passwords for the tests, for the testers. So we've got free tests and we've got monthly testers here. So if I grab this and change that to be, did I grab the comma? So this needs to be another user here that has a no plan. No plan. We'll just call this user no plan. Look at all of these errors, man. I need to sort all this out. This is going to take ages. Oops. Sorry. Okay, so it's the username for this fella is this. And I think that's correct. We're using the client ID and a client secret that's been defined. That's fine. Again, I really should put this in parameters in an env file, I think, rather than hard code it into the thing. But okay, so now I've created that. It means that what I've got is a little switcheroo somewhere, which is here. So you log in with the type, and it gets the credentials based on the type. So in this case, it's user no plan, which is user no plan. So I want to log in with this here. So instead of user type user free, I want to do type user no plan. So what is this going to come back with? If this user does not have a plan, he's in the system, he doesn't have a plan, what's going to happen? Is it going to 500? Is it going to 400? Is it going to 404? I have no idea. So enroll on course with no plan, with user no plan. All right, let's try that. Let's give that a go. So I need to do build. No, I don't. I need to do bash. That's what I need to do. Reverse search into bash, and we need to jump into here, firing that API endpoint off. Okay, so course enroll. As a user with no plan, I want to enroll in a course. Now this should fail, and I don't know what it's going to do. So yes, it has failed. It's failed because there is no... Oh. No. That's not how it's supposed to fail. This is failing because there's an invalid grant type. That's not good. What's that about? Let's just run that again. Yeah, this is complaining that I can't log in with this user. So user no plan. Oh, it's because I've left off the T on the username. That wasn't the error I was expecting. Okay, so here we've got a critical error. And here we're throwing a 500. So yes, this has kicked up an issue with the code. Haha, see, this is good. This is a good thing to do this. Okay, so uncaught PHP exception return value of app entity get subscription plan must be an instance of subscription plan, but null is returned. So there is a problem with the entities there. At user on line 117. So let's go into user and let's go to line if I can't find, there we go, 117 I believe it was. Yeah, so this isn't right. This isn't right at all, because it's null. I can't find it now. There we go, it's null by default. And there's no... Yeah, so... Okay, so that's tidied that up. I really do need to go, and I need to spend some time and make this PHP 7 compliant, 7.4 compliant. Okay, so we've got another critical uncaught PHP exception. You do not have the correct subscription plan. That is correct. But what HTTP status code has thrown, it's a 400. That is exactly what I wanted. So we will change the test now, which is, it's not register, it is enroll. So none of this, and none of that as well. And we want to do this thing here. This is bad request, which makes sense, right? So it makes sense. It makes sense to me. Yeah, so you're trying to enroll into a course. It doesn't matter if it's free or not. Where you're a user and you've got no plan behind you. So that makes sense. So that covers that edge case. And we also have discovered a PHP bug that was undefined. Or no, the return type was wrong. So that's a good thing. So let's run this again. So yeah, I'm glad I'm doing this. I was kind of thinking this morning that there's so much to do. I could have quite easily have just done a JavaScript stream today and just built the front end, because there's so much to do with that. But this is good stuff. I'm glad I'm doing this. I'm glad I'm sort of taking a step back and taking stock of the stuff that I've already built and trying to test that as much as I possibly can before I move on to anything new. But sometimes it's good to do this. In fact, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run all the tests again and then I'm going to commit everything I've done, because there's a lot of stuff that we've been working through and a lot of fixes and changes and stuff. So I'm going to dive out of this for a minute, and then I'm going to do the make tests command. So this will test everything from start to finish. And we've got a PHP CBF issue there. That's fixed. That's good. So let's run that again. And I'm doing this specifically because, partly because this will eventually run PHP stan, and because I've changed those types, so I want to make sure that is good on level 8 of PHP stan. So fingers crossed this will pass this one, and then of course go through all the tests as it stands. So this will check the schema. Now it's doing the cache clearance, and then it will go through those tests as we've seen before. And whilst it makes its merry way through these tests, we're going to take a look at the code and see what is involved in making this PHP 7.4 compliant. What do I need to do? Okay, there we go. So it's now going to run 64 API tests. Love it. Okay, whilst that continues, I'm going to do a Git commit. Lots of change. Okay, so this is adding API tests and adding API tests, adding user with no plan, adding updating test DB, updating what did we do with the user? Updating return of get subscription plan to allow null. Okay, and what did we do with the register? Oh yeah, we added, so lots of change. Added not blank check on selected package, and refactored package check. Okay, commit. Is it time for another cup of tea? Sorry, I've got my orange squash. That's the thing with streaming. You're talking a lot. Oh, we got a problem there. We got a issue. You're talking a lot, so your mouth gets dry. Oh, this is interesting. So, get user assessed, users admin test, uncaught PHP call to member function get internal name in user schema. Ooh, so this is kicking up something else. I bet this is because this admin user doesn't have a subscription plan, and therefore this is failing. I bet this is going to cause a problem with one of the unit tests as well. So user schema on line 34. Let's take a look at that. So user schema on line 34. Yes, this is assuming that this particular user has a subscription plan, and of course that's not the case. Oh dear, yes. See the little ripple effect? You change one thing and yep. Well, I'm gonna leave this to get through the rest of them, because now we've got one issue. I want to make sure that nothing else gets knocked with this. And then, yeah, and whilst that's running, let's take a look at and see what needs to change to get this into 7.4. So, I tell you what, the easiest place, I suppose, is to start on the entities, because these are all built, you know, in, I think, PHP 5 something or other days, so these are going to be old stuff. So if let's just pick on one, for instance. Let's pick on tutorial. So we don't have the declare strict at all on the top here, and also we don't have the missing property types of these. Now I've got a feeling this is going to be the case for every single file. Yeah. And I can see there's some places where we're not returning that as well. So yeah, there's loads to do. Now this is going to be the same for everything, I guess. So if we looked at the API course controller, do we have any issues here? No, that's fine. Let's take a look at the abstract controller. Yeah, so some types, and obviously there's no, I don't think on any file there is the declare strict, which means that the type checking just won't happen anyway. Sorry, I'm just I'm on doggy duty, so I might have to run out if he barks at something. But apparently he's sleeping. Yeah, there's loads of things I need to just adjust and change. Putting in the declare types is a big change, not only because it touches every single file, but it will change the way PHP deals with the type checking, because we're now doing it in strict form. I think in some places, perhaps in here we have types coming back, especially the return types, but I don't think we've got any property checkings going on. Do I want to do this before launch? Because strictly speaking, based on these tests, apart from that one obviously, it works. But do I want to do this before launch? I think so. I think that would be a good idea. How would I do that? It's going to take a bit of time, isn't it, to go through each thing. It's a massive change. It touches everything. So then my question is the code tested enough to make sure that these changes don't break anything? Because essentially what I would do is go through everything, change everything in one commit, and then run the tests. So it would need to be done in a, when the code is at a stable point. So where all the tests have passed, I would then go in, put declare strict on every file, and I could probably do that through some script or something, and then I would go through each entity and change this declared stuff, the property type stuff. I don't want to do it now. Maybe after stream or something, when I've got more tests to deal with. I'll probably do that before dinner and then run the tests during dinner, because this is taking ages. Yeah, okay, so we're not going to touch that at the moment. We've got half an hour left on the stream, so that's fine. Okay, all right. So we've managed to do categories, courses, getting a course back by ID, course enroll, and we've also done register, which is that one there. Okay. So I think maybe I could probably do a few more, and then I think I'll probably end up picking this up again on Tuesday. And I think this is probably going to be the way the streams are going to be now for the foreseeable. At this, doing tests and stuff. Once the APIs are tested, once all of these are tested and checked and documented, then I think I'm going to work on the front end. So do some jest tests and some acceptance tests on the front end. And then off stream, I'll be building the features. So I'll be basically chasing my tail. In the evenings, I'll be doing the features, building the features. Because actually, the features that we have left to build we haven't got many of them, which is good. They're complicated features, like for instance the Stripe webhook feature and the whole password resetting feature and the other things that require an element of security. All right. So okay, I just really want to see what's going on, like with anything else. I mean, at this stage, I could probably run the unit tests as well. I think I'm going to do that, actually. Let's do that. I'm getting really impatient now. Let's do an eval and then do a Docker. Well, it's I need to go into here and let's do make test unit. Okay, so unit tests will be able to run because they're not touching the database. So these should all just run through. Nothing's failed. Oh, there is one error, although is that the error of just the output? Okay, so nothing's failed from a unit test point of view, and yet an API has failed. That in itself is a bit of a red flag, in my opinion, because obviously there isn't a unit test whatever has failed. So here, uncaught exception runtime, you do not have the correct subscription plan. No, that wasn't the thing. The thing was... It wasn't that. Here we go. Uncall PHP exception call to member get internal name. It was the schema. So does this mean that I have a unit test that isn't doing the right thing? Let's have a look at that. So we should have in schemas, yes, we should have user schema test. Was it user schema test? Was it this that was that picked that up? I can't remember. What was this? It was the admin get an admin user. So that would have ran the so it would have run the user schema. Okay, so we're gonna that's setting up the mocks for the schema. This is getting the IDs, getting the type, getting the attributes, getting the relationships back. Okay, fine. But what about where was it that it was failing? It was here, wasn't it? That's where it was failing. The resource is the user. Gotcha. And this is the attributes for that schema. So if we go back to here and we had a look at the attributes, so we got username, email, active. We're setting the subscription plan, and then we're checking this. Gotcha. Okay, I understand. So what we need to do is have another test of a user that doesn't have a subscription plan. Yeah. So this here is with no plan. And what I would like to do, essentially, is replicate an issue. So we're going to not provide a subscription plan, okay? And the laughable thing here is that we've set the subscription plan here, but we're not checking it. There. I'm going to just do that now because that's quite an important thing. That should have the attribute of free. Sorry. Yes. Although, hang on a minute. This is coming through a data provider. Entity provider, which doesn't have a subscription plan. Rats. Okay, let's just run with that. So attributes, internal name. Yeah, that's what it's getting back. And then this here should fail because we don't have that. So let's run the units again. It's fine. We can run. Oh, this is ran through. Oh, there was 2 errors. Interesting. Okay, we'll deal with this one first. Let's just run all the units. Okay, yep. So we got an error, and the error here is call to member. So yes, so we've replicated this now with no plan. So we've replicated the API error, but in a unit test form. So we've honed into that specific area where the code was failing, and we're now looking at how we can fix that. So the get internal error on null is because we haven't supplied a subscription plan, and we've made the decision that there is cases where a subscription plan will not be added to a user, So bear with me just a second. I just need to look after Murphy for just a second. Bear with me. Hey, buddy. So the neighbour's dog was barking. I've allowed him into the office because he was getting a little bit. Where is everybody? You can probably hear me talk, but not see me. Cute. Yeah. So it's this thing. This is, and now he's just laying outside the office door, staring at the stairs, on guard. It's all right, Daddy Bear. I'll protect you. Dogs are brilliant. Puppies are better. So, okay. Test get attributes with no plan. So, what I want to make sure, the end goal is that we still have a key that says subscription plan, but it's empty. That's the key. So we have subscription plan. Just make sure I've got the right spelling. In the attributes, and we want to make sure that it's null. Whoops. Oh, he's now curled up in a ball. Cool. Right. So let's run this. I'm going to get the same error again. No problem. And this is because I now need to fix this. So if we go to the user schema here, I need to have a check to make sure that there is a subscription plan. So what I could either do this in a closure, or let's do it in a closure function. Actually, no. Let's not. No. Let's do it. Let's just do it as a function. So public. What will it look like? Function. Passing in resource. And well, and that would be, I think I can do this. So if resource dot get subscription plan is an instance of subscription plan, then, and we can probably do this in ternary as well, we can return the subscription plan internal name. Yeah, so let's do that. So let's do subscription plan is equal to that. And then from here we do a return. Let's put that up into there for a second. We do subscription plan there, and we do subscription plan here, and we do a return. So return of that being a question mark. And this, we're going to turn this into a ternary. So return that. If that is an instance, then we return this. Else, we return null. Actually, Yes. Yes, no, we do that. Yeah. Oops. What's happened? What's happened? All right. Let's see. Run those tests again. Nope, we've still got a problem. Okay, no tests with get attribute with no to build failed. That closure object is identical to null. All right, let's try and do this outside of a closure. Let's in fact, I don't need a closure, do I? I could just return the ternary. That would make so much sense. There we go. Talk about, although I'm still going to need to get resource, get subscription plan. Damn. Ah, dear. Yeah. Okay. Let's just create a function, public function. Get subscription plan. Passing in user as the resource. And so this is going to return, so this is subscription plan internal code. So this is going to return null or a string. No, it's going to, maybe I should just give it a return as a blank string rather than null. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So then up here we do subscription plan is equal to resource get subscription plan. There we go. And then we return the ternary, and we're going to return an empty string. There we go. And there's no need for that. Getting off of the IDE now. Off the side of the IDE, so that will return a string. So it's going to return a string rather than null. So, okay, resource. No. This gets subscription plan internal code, passing in resource. There we go. Okay. So in the test, this needs to return a string, an empty string. Okay. So let's run that. Sorry, my neighbour's dogs are barking, and Murphy's like, I don't know what to do. Do I bark? You're fine. You're good. You're a good boy. What happened? What happened? It passed. Woohoo! That passed. That's good. So now, does this API jobby pass this one? Admin users admin test. We will single you out. API finding path. No, that's get users test. Get users test. I don't know which one it is. I haven't really labeled this very well. Users admin test. That's users public test. This is users no auth test. Users admin test. Here we go. This is the one. Yeah. So let's see if we can just single that one out. And for this, I'm going to have to go inside the container, which I could probably do from. Let's just do it. Bash. So we are going to do a bin code exception run API -g passing in that, and then hopefully this is going to pass because I've just fixed it. Fingers crossed. And I have a unit test to back up the fact that it's fixed. that's passed. There was some more errors, wasn't there? So this was this one here, undefined index subscription plan. No, it was this one. User schema test, unit schema test. No, these were the API tests. Sorry, these were the unit tests, which were these, which have now passed because we can run all the units, and they have all passed, 193 of them. And there was one test that was wrong with the API, which was somewhere. That's integration tests. This one. And we've just fixed that. Yeah, so they're all fixed. Good. Okay, let's commit that. Fixing allowing subscription plan internal codes to be an empty string in the API schema. Yeah, there we go. Good. Well, there we go. Excellent. I'm pretty happy with the way things are going now. I'm more confident now because I've got those tests to back that up. I'm happier, and I think that this was such a good idea to do. Is to sort of take a step back from the project and go, right, what have we done? What has been tested? What needs to be tested more? And can we break it? And that's what we've been doing. We've only done categories, courses, and enroll. We've only done these 1, 2, 3, 4 APIs. Oh, plus the registration, of course. So I guess on Tuesday we'll make our merry way down some more if I haven't got to them already. But I really want to get a shift on with this because I want to be looking at the front end because there's a lot to do with the front end, a lot to do, and there's probably going to be a fair amount of reworking in terms of the internals of the JavaScript as well. I was finding all sorts of issues because we're using GraphQL and we're using API responses at different times, and therefore the response, the actual code that we get back, the JSON, looks very different. And so what I would like to do is create a layer that takes both responses and then turns that into some normalized JavaScript class. So a class so basically like a model layer for the JavaScript. That's what I want to work on. And then run tests in Jest to make sure that they are doing exactly what they need to do. And then once that's done, work on acceptance tests to run Cucumber.js to actually run the page in a headless Chrome browser to make sure that pages can be accessed and forms can be filled out and all of that stuff. So yeah. But right now I'm gonna shoot off and play around with my dog. He doesn't know it yet, but he's kind of half asleep. But his ears are pricking up. But anyway, thank you ever so much for watching. Happy coding, everybody, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers, bye.